This is another episode of Talking with Kevin and Son and the People You Should Know. This is brought to you by RMK Productions and the 10 United Podcast Network. And through the power of story, our mission is to uplift, share stories through the voice, and inspire experiences, perspectives using the framework of teaching, learning, and modeling. Our purpose is hope, helping other people every single day. Today, this is a very special episode. We're going along without Son today because he's not feeling well. We're not for sure exactly what's going on. But Vince Papale, wonderful, wonderful human being. He's a gift to this world. He is an author of Being Invincible, the book that teaches you how to reach your potential. Another book which I haven't read, and I just realized The Last Laugh. We'll talk about that. We'll talk about life after the movie of Invincible. We'll talk about and insert things that brought the movie about, his relationship with Mark Wahlberg, where Vince is right now. We'll talk about Gabby, Little Vinny, and hopefully Janet will stop in and talk about how being invincible and living with number 83 and what life is like after the movie. So Vince,
that could be dangerous. I don't know about that one.
that's the reason why I wanted to do this interview. I didn't want to script it out. We're friends, and I will say thank you for allowing me to be part of history. Thank you for allowing me to be friends. Thank you for allowing my sons and your sons to share the gridiron together as high school students, battling the same as both of our, the fathers did. And just thank you for all that you're doing in the community and sharing the magic of being positive, being courageous, being optimistic, being committed, and being a Philadelphia Eagle. Thank you. Vince Papale, ladies and gentlemen.
No, thank you. That was pretty cool. That was a great intro. I'm just a dad, I'm so, Kevin, I mean, we were together for a little while, at least 13, 14, 15 weeks back there in '06 when this thing was being filmed. And I don't know about you, but I'm still pinching myself. It was just the craziest experience you could possibly imagine to have something like that, it just came out of nowhere, and then boom, in '04, here you go. And '05, I get to meet you on set, and it was pretty cool. So what an experience! But life is good, life is good, and like you said, I like what you said about hope. I mean, and that's what this little trilogy of pictures back there. You see Mark in there, and the movie Invincible. This is the I have all my props here because I do a lot of cameos in this studio. We're actually in the garage of my house, air conditioned garage of my house down in Jupiter, Florida. So this little baby, right? This baby here changed my life without a doubt. And when they talk about it, and I say it's really not my story; it's everybody's story. Everybody's got that dream, and every dream. A lot of people have had dreams that have turned into nightmares, and you got to get through those dreams. And that's Janet. That's Janet. And Invincible is about hope. And a lot of people are struggling right now. You take a look what's happening, and with depression is at all-time highs, suicides at an all-time high, and all kinds of things going on. Where do you turn to? You turn to faith. You turn to your friends. You turn to your partners, your wife, or wherever, however you want to. Determine the person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, and that's what we just got to keep a positive attitude and keep driving. It's tough out there.
Well, I know for me, and I always say, talking to my podcast team, the interview should never be about me. It should be about you. But I will tell you, I owe you a great deal of thanks because one of the things I've always said to, because I had kids late in life, I wish they had gotten a chance to see me play football, and to have my son as part to show up on set of the movie Invincible and to hang out with Mark Wahlberg and Oscar-winning performers and being with the team. it was life changing for me as a parent. Our friendship has been undaunting. From the time that we've met, you were by far, and I've done films before, but I've never had an experience like it was on the set of Invincible. You gave a house party once, and you invited the cast and the crew. Normally, the house parties are normally for the stars and whatever. That showed a lot of character about who you are, um, as a human being, not just the star, a football star or a movie star. And you had everyone, Mark and everyone else there. What came into that decision? Was that conscious or just something you wanted to do?
Something we do. It's what we do. It's funny. The conversation I was having with Janet on my way in here before we went on air is our next door neighbor who happens to be a commentator on one of the major news networks, and he's like my best buddy down here, and he went to University of Daughter. His wife went to university. He played baseball at Georgia, and and his wife went to Delaware. And he says, "Hey, I'm going to take up your offer for Thanksgiving." And I just said to Janet, "Well, we got 5 more people coming for Thanksgiving on Thursday." She said, "Well, yeah, what do I care?" And that's the way we are. We just love having people around. And last night we had a fair share of people, and you just bring people in, and that's what it's all about, and that's what keeps you excited is the growing family that we have. So it's pretty much Janet. Janet just said, "Come on, let's have a party." She loves to have a good time and loves being the hostess. And I just like hanging out. So it worked out just great. That was pretty fun. That was pretty fun. I remember that. I forgot about that. I just said, "Oh, okay." But
No, it's some things you never forget. I personally will never forget the day that I didn't have someone to watch my kids, and I had to bring my oldest son Alex to the set. And Mark Wahlberg walked into where all the day players and so forth were at. And he says, who is that? Is that little Mac? Yeah. He spent the whole entire day with my son. And I'm sitting here, we were doing the drills on camera. And I'm sitting there with tears in my eyes, watching my son hang out with all the big time people over there. And, you came up with some of your own old teammates and some of the stars and put Alex right in the picture and hugged him and whatever. And for me, having that experience, I as many times that I've knocked down a ball or decleated someone or whatever, I have never felt emotionally that disconnected to being a football hero than being a hero to my son. And I know, when our sons played against each other, going for the state, and then watching your son, playing at Delaware, what is that like to see your son going to the next level?
it's pretty cool. It's really cool, and I try not to put any pressure on Vinny and let him determine his own path. It's difficult as dads because we were coach dads, and it's difficult for us to sort of give up that coaching thing. But it's just such an experience. And Vinny, as we speak right now, he had a pretty good shot at the NFL and wound up with an injury that we think knocked him out. But the USFL has just resurrected. He's all excited. I just got off the phone with him about a half hour ago, and there's going to be 8 teams down in Birmingham. That's going to be the hub. And it looks like there's no question in my mind that Vinny's going to be in the USFL, and maybe that'll lead to it, to the next level. But, it's more than watching your son play out there, Kevin. It's just the pride that I have that he gave so much. He sacrificed so much to get to where he's gotten now. And that's what you want. You're trying to teach your kids, your sons, your daughters, whatever it is to teach them the right way to handle adversity, the right way to handle success, the right way to handle people, no matter what, friendly people, unfriendly people, how to just basically survive out there. And to see him, and also to see my daughter Gabrielle be so successful at that, gives me great pride. And I'm just like you. The only thing that pisses me off is that, and I'm a late dad. Gabby was born when I was 47, and Vinny was born when I was 50. So you can sort of figure out the math. You can guess a little bit. And all they can see are, back then they didn't really have a really great videotape when I was playing in '76. So I was able to get a little bit of a highlight reel from NFL films, but I just wish they would have been able to see the whole thing, and experience the whole package, what it's like to go in there and tailgate. Like for me to go in and tailgate when I know my son's playing, and I would be the first one in, and Vinny would come out of the tunnel, and the stadium would be empty, but I'd be there at a certain spot. He knew where it was. He'd look up, he'd tug on his face mask, give me a nod. I'm getting emotional now just thinking about it, that feeling that I had. And to see my daughter, in some competitive situations, and she worked for the 76ers, and to see her at a timeout underneath the basket, coordinating all the entertainment that's going on in front of 17,000 people for the 76ers. And that's what she did up until recently. So, it's great. And, you're talking about Mark, remember that motor scooter, that little Vespa motor scooter he used to run around all the time with?
Yep.
I'm looking at it. There it is right there.
What you do? Take it from Mark?
No, he gave it to me. He gave it to me. Kevin, this is so bad, man. Check this out. So I get a truck. Remember the guy? What the heck was his name? He was a manager for. He was the equipment manager for Temple. The big bald guy, right?
Yep.
Yeah, right. So he's going to kill me if he sees this podcast. I don't remember his name. I better think of it. Too many hits.
Well, it'll come up.
Yeah, it'll come up. He comes up and I get a knock on the door. And whoa, what are you doing here? And there was a big truck out, a delivery truck out there. And he says, "Here, this is from Mark." Here came and went out there, and there it was. So Vinny used it on campus. Gabby was up at Syracuse, so she couldn't take it up there, but Vinny used it at campus at Delaware. So it was pretty good. I'm looking at it right now. It's pretty cool. I buzz around the neighborhood in that thing.
I'm going to tell
5 miles an hour. So
I'm going to tell you, and especially to the listeners, I mean, they hear us talking, and we're talking as boys to men, but we also talk about being fathers. There's no separation into the shine of, and I would say you guys are a celebrity family. Your wife was an Olympic coach. Gabby was a star cheerleader. Now she's, the 76ers. Our sons were the same age, and they were, going through the process of, walking, playing the game that we loved. But the thing is, the Papale family has never been the Papale family. It's always been Vinny, Vince, Gabby, and Janet as normal people. It has never been. I've been around superstars in the NBA, the NFL, Major League Baseball, and it was just like they step in stuff and it doesn't stink. You guys have always been genuine people, and when you brought Mark into the circle, and I defended him going through a social issue for the simple fact everyone of my color came down on him because he joined into a fight. And I love Mark Wahlberg, love him to death, and will fight for him the same way I fight for you. But how do you keep it real? And especially looking at the way things are going on in the NFL right now, you've got celebrities that, are bigger than the team, and then they don't understand why the team's not winning. How do you keep it real?
Well, what first of all, do you see that USA jersey over there? I'll just swing it over. See that? That's the jersey Janet wore when she was on the USA team back in the Olympic days. She and Kathy Wrigley were teammates and roommates, and then she coached it then. So she's my boss, and that's Gabby's cheerleader's uniform, by the way. With this, how do I keep it real? All I think about is where I came from. My mom and dad, two great athletes. My mom, one of 9. My father, one of 9. Both first or second generation immigrants, and growing up in Delaware County, just south of the Philly airport. And my mom and dad never getting beyond the 8th grade. And my mom suffering from anxiety and depression, in and out of mental hospitals while I'm in junior high school. These are the stories. This is the stuff a lot of people don't know. And so that's what kept me grounded. And, and why did I become a school teacher? Why did I teach for 6 years before I tried out for the NFL? Because I wanted to honor those that helped save me as a person, not my life, but they saved my soul. They gave me confidence at a time when I was totally lacking self-confidence, and they gave me the support that I needed, and that support that I was basically begging for, and they saw it and they said they would take it under arm. So hey, listen, I'm just that guy, and Janet's the same way with her parents, and nine, she's the oldest of nine, and there was a little something going on in her house, a little turmoil, and next thing you know, the parents split up, and Janet's the one that's being told that she's not going to go anywhere, and that was the biggest mistake anybody could ever tell her to tell me. And then she winds up wearing USA in her jersey, and I wind up wearing Philadelphia Eagles my jersey. So it's where you come from, and it's how you appreciate life and how you look at life. And we're very we still work really hard. Janet's an animal, and she's right behind this wall right now. I can hear her in the office making real estate calls, and she just won't stop. And I think it's that kind of drive. But I don't see myself as anything other than Vinny and Gabby's dad and Janet's husband. And we just got off a call with somebody that wants to promote us. I just signed a contract with Penn National to be their spokesman, a new gambling group with Barstool Sports. I'm pretty excited about that. And but I'm just still the dad. And I always say to Janet, I only wish I met you sooner so I could have loved you longer.
Wow.
I mean, she is just like, having our children to see us when we were playing. And I just wish that I had my family back then. And I wish I could have seen her compete, and that if anybody say, well, what if you could do anything and change your life in any way, that's how I would do it. I wish my kids were born sooner and we're all together as a family and seeing every one of us compete. But hey,
I know that.
But
Your kids got a chance to see dad in a whole nother light.
Yeah.
It's going to be forever. Invincible. How did that come about? I mean, we've talked about it, but I don't think everyone knows how it came about. And now you're going to say Janet a couple hundred times and whatever. How did that come about?
Well, yo, Adrian, hey, yo, Adrian, we did it. And actually, thank you, Rocky. Thank you, Sylvester Stallone, because when Rocky came out in 76, I was a rookie then, and I was 30 years old. Rocky was 30 years old. We were the ham and eggers. He was a ham and egg boxer. I was the underdog, just the guy my grandfather was a pig farmer, for crying out loud. And this is where that's where it started. So at any rate, so Rocky's turning 25 in 2002. We get contacted by NFL Films. This kid called Pete DiStefano from South Philly. He's one of the top new young guns at NFL Films, and said, hey, the NFL wants to honor Rocky's 25th anniversary, and they want to do a comparison between your story and his story. Would you like to do that? I said, what? And what's it going to show? And how's it going to show? Well, when the Eagles are playing the 49ers on Monday Night Football. So they do the feature. We put the feature together. Jaws is there, and he's the commentator before the game, and with the late great Stuart Scott. Remember Stuart Scott?
Right.
So those two, and they're busting him. Stewart's busting Jaws about me, and they say, yeah, this Rocky guy, Papale. They show the feature. It's on YouTube, by the way. It's called The Real Rocky. And for next day, Hollywood came calling. And it was just like that. And, you've been involved in the process. You know how long it takes for these things to develop.
Right.
So now we have 5 or 6 or 7 agencies that are calling us and say, we want to make a movie. And we can do this. Jan and I have no idea what we're going to do. So we checked in with a couple of people that we knew that were in the entertainment business in Philadelphia. No, it's going to go nowhere. Just like my career is going to go nowhere. Yeah, it's going to go nowhere. They're just feeling you out, but don't worry about it. No, we don't even want to touch it. Well, anyway, there's a guy out there by the name of Ken Mock. I don't know if Ken wasn't on the set all that much. You saw Mark.
I met him actually when I auditioned, because I auditioned originally as a player, and they made me a coach because of my age.
Okay. Yeah, you were a young guy. You were like 25. So remember that free agent tryout they had for guys to come on?
I was there.
Yeah, they had that free agent tryout for those guys. That was so cool.
Yep.
It's right up there in right on Route 1 up there by Plymouth Meeting.
Yep.
Yeah, that was pretty cool. But anyway, so Ken Mock decides to take the risk, and he says, I got this plan. And keep in mind, I have no idea I'm not even thinking about who's going to play me. He said, but I've got this plan. This is what I want to do. And I'm going to write a spec script. And this guy by the name of Brad Gann, who's done the Oscar De La Hoya story. He's done a few things who were movies, and so he said he's going to do it. We're going to do it all on spec because this is how much we believe in the movie. So what they did, and you probably didn't know this, but on October 14th, I don't know why I remember this date, but October 14th, 2004, they gave this script to 5 or 6 producers. And somebody went to New Line, another one went to Columbia, another one went to Paramount, another one went here, another Sony, But the guys that did Miracle and Rookie, Mark Ciardi and Gordon Gray, they took it to Disney.
Yeah.
And when the guy from Disney looked at it and he says, I know this story. I know this story. This is what we're looking for. And boom. So now the script goes over to Buena Vista Pictures. And I've heard her last name was Abramson. And she looks at the script and she tells her assistant, I don't want any calls for the next 3 hours. She marked up the script. And next thing you know, we got greenlit. We greenlit in Philadelphia. They all came in and all the Disney people came in, had a big celebration in Philadelphia. And then, they started setting up the cast in 2005. And next thing you know, there was everybody out there at Northeast High School, right before the 4th of July in 2005, training, all the players, all the coaches, everybody, getting all their stuff together. And then they started to shoot right after the 4th.
Yeah. How did Mark Wahlberg get attached to it?
Well, how did he get attached? I have no idea, but somebody approached him. That's a good question. I know some pretty big stars wanted to take a shot at it, but they didn't want to do the stunts. And Mark wanted to do everything. And I spent 2 weeks with him over at Northeast High School, just working drills and ball catching drills. And he's an incredible athlete. I mean, he's a phenomenal athlete.
I'm going to say this, and I said this on the sideline because watching Mark, and I've been around actors playing athletes, and they bring in a stuntman when it got a little hot for him. I had a lot of respect for Mark. When he put on the uniform, he played. He took some hits that would have crippled most people, and he got up. And I remember the one line that I had, and it got cut out, is that Mark had gotten depleted coming over the sideline. I picked him up and I said, "Welcome to the NFL." And he looked up at me, and you know how you're dazed and confused, but you say, I'm going back in the game, and that little man on your shoulder says, you should just lay down. That's the look Mark had. And then after that,
didn't he?
He played like he'd been playing the game all of his life.
Yeah, he did. Well, he told Erickson. Erickson wanted to do a double on the hit, and then have Mark come up, and do whatever. And Mark told Erickson Cord, by the way, for people that don't know, he's an Emmy award-winning, Oscar award-winning cinematographer who got his first major director's job. And so the cinematography, the photography was just absolutely incredible. And Mark told him, he said, don't even think about bringing a double in. He says, and I want it shot in super slow. And so Mark called the shot, and then the guy that came in to hit him, I forget, he was an Arena Football League guy.
Yep.
And he just ripped him a new one. And I remember, he's and went, so this is really cool, Kevin. So I don't know what it was. I was watching the movie. The movie was on. So real quick, I take my phone, and there's the hit. I take a clip of the hit, and the hit's going. And I sent it to Mark. I texted it to Mark. He said, in 30 seconds, he FaceTimes me. He said, Pally, he always called me Pally. He said, Pally, I can't believe you just did that. He says, I'm still hurting from that hit. And he said, see the guy behind me? That's my chiropractor, right? He got ripped apart. And if you want to get some good Mark Wahlberg stuff, again, there's good stuff on YouTube. Just go. And I did a 45-minute interview with Mark and how he prepared himself. And he said because he was the underdog, and that's how he saw himself.
Yeah. And his whole career has been like that. He's a great actor. He's a great human being, and I know great things are coming. And he actually became a good friend of yours.
Yeah, we're still friends. Yeah.
Yep. To this very
we still stay in touch, and I know he's so connected with the military. It's one of my favorites. I do a lot of stuff. I try to do a lot of stuff to help the military. I had the honor of being with the Tunnel to Towers group just a few weeks ago, and with my friend right across the street here is a Gold Star father, a Marine father. The Travis Manion Foundation. Anybody in the greater Philadelphia area, just look it up, and that's my bud over here.
Yeah,
And
I just did a thing with Dave Sanderson. He was the last passenger to exit the plane that went down in the Hudson. He did a thing for homeless veterans, a fundraiser where they had 107 Navy SEALs that swam and reproduced that swim that he went back into the water, and they did 100 pull-ups and 100 push-ups. I was supposed to be scheduled to do that, and I had just came out of COVID, and I had no strength, and I've been training to do it. Only difference is when I got there, they were supposed to do it early in the day, and they moved it to a nighttime, and I had to be back here to record for one of my podcasts. So I had to come back to Philly, but I missed that event. But
remember, I do remember the event. That's amazing. And speaking of, I was just thinking of your son. I hope everything's okay with him. I know he's not feeling so hot right now.
yeah, this COVID thing has it has changed a lot.
Sure has.
So
Ruined careers and ruined dreams. And my high school coach, remember George Corner?
yeah,
Happy are those who dream dreams and are willing to pay the price to make their dreams come true. And I use that quote when I speak all the time, Kevin.
yeah.
And it's willingness. What are you going to do? Because we're paying the price. We're paying it now in so many different ways. Even if you haven't been affected by it, you have been affected by it because of all that's going on around us. So you got to keep hope, like I said right in the beginning.
You're exactly right. I'm glad you brought up your quote, because I have a quote when I'm talking to young people and they talk about how hard life is. And I've lost several friends, even one last week to COVID. One of my best friends lost an 8-year-old son to brain cancer. And when sharing that story, people saying, how do you get over it? I'm saying you don't get over it. You move on with it. And, my favorite quote is, life doesn't have to be perfect to be wonderful. Life is about waiting for the storm to pass. And it's about learning how to dance in the rain.
Send that to me, please.
I will definitely send that to you.
That was fantastic. And it's interesting you said you never get over it. My buddy, Travis Manion, was killed in Fallujah 13 years ago. And my buddy, a Marine colonel, is a Gold Star father. And we talk about it all the time. He says, you never get over it. You never get over it.
And that's why you got to move on with it. And when you get the opportunity to help someone else and have them overcome adversity, and you being an example of how to overcome triumphs, and life does matter, it shows as an example that everything's possible because it's been done before.
And it's great because what you do and what you've taken, and congratulations on all the awards that you've gotten for all the things you've done in the community. When I see superstars, I see great athletes. One in particular, like Charles. We all love Charles. When you said he's, I'm not a role model. Yes, you are. We are impactors. Kids look up to us. They even look up at me. It's amazing the reaction that I get from 8 to 10 to 12-year-olds when their father says, "Yeah, we watched that movie together. That Invincible. Oh my God, yeah, you're the guy that you don't look like Mark Wahlberg, But we can make such a difference and have a positive impact on people. Look, I'm a cancer survivor, so I do a lot of colon rectal cancer awareness programs and stuff. Been doing that for 20 years. And would they be listening to me as much as they would if I didn't have this movie, Invincible? I don't know. I like to think maybe that gives it that little, like that, you have a halo over you with your backdrop, and I think that Invincible, it gives that little something that enables me to take it to the next level. And it's so important to take that gift that you have to go out and speak and to be an influencer and be a positive influencer. And that's what I think my role is now. As far as being a dad, I'm the protector now. I'm the safety net.
Yeah.
But still.
Well, they say God only sends his strongest warriors out to battle, and that's the reason why you're invincible.
Well, I don't know about that.
No,
I feel invincible sometimes, but I appreciate that, dude.
I'm going to tell you, Vince. I had an interview, and at the end of the interview on my podcast, the guy he was an author. He goes, "This is my first time ever meeting a celebrity," and I said, "Wait a minute, hold on for a second, okay? You don't know what a celebrity is." I said, "I'm going to tell you what a celebrity is. A celebrity is the young man that gets up every single day to make sure you have a roof over your head.
Mhm.
The celebrity is the person that holds you when you skinned your knee that you call mom. I said the celebrity is that individual to sacrifice time away from his family to coach you to make your dreams come true. Celebrity is that educator that realizes you learn a little bit different and she finds a way for you to get an education. I said that's a celebrity. Anybody else is just another person doing work and they get paid to do it. A celebrity volunteers their service without looking for any return on investment. That's a celebrity.
That's a beautiful quote. I like that. Wow. Yeah, that's this lady right here. I mean, what I'm going to text her right now, Kevin. And why don't you give us another one of your great quotes? And let me text Janet and tell her to get hers.
Well, let me say thank you. Last week I received a Distinguished Authors Guild Award
Yes, you did.
for Sprinkles, the True Spirit of Christmas. And the first text I've got saying congratulations was from my friend. That's a celebrity. That's a student of life. That is a father hero from Mr. Vince Papale itself. You have no idea what it meant to me. I'm still walking around. I'm hoping, I don't lose my phone because I've got, that congratulations from the great Vince Papale.
Whoa, the door is opened.
Oh,
Here it is.
boy.
Oh, here she is. Come on in.
Ladies and gentlemen, okay? You know what they say behind every strong man and successful man, there is an equally strong woman standing over his shoulders trying to get into the frame. Janice Papale. How are you doing? Olympic athlete, U.S., star above stars. And
Well, I was not Olympic. I was at the World Games, not the Olympic.
World Games.
I missed it. I was injured.
Okay. But genuine person,
Yeah.
normal. And by the way, how many sisters do you have?
I have 6 sisters and 2 brothers.
I don't know how Vince picked one out of the other because one is just more beautiful than the other. So lucky for both of you guys.
Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, Janet Papale. How are you doing, doll?
I'm great. Busy, very busy. I sell real estate, so it's a crazy time in real estate.
It's supposed to be a good market right now, right?
Oh, it's crazy. It's too good. It's a shame because a lot of people lose opportunities because it's going over asking and it's not fair.
Yeah, I know a lot of younger people trying to buy their first home and can't get their first home.
No, it's ridiculous.
That was Gabriella, our daughter Gabriella, going through the same thing right down here.
Yeah, Gabby lost 10 homes before she got one.
And we're on 5. We've been trying to buy a vacation home to be our retirement home in Vermont, and just doesn't work out. You have people outbidding you for property that 5 years from now when they go back to refinance or appraise it, want to appraise for what they pay for it. I do not understand the psychic of people right now.
Wait till January, February, because there's going to be what's happened a lot of times. What's going on right now is they had the mortgage forgiveness and everything. And now what's happening is people now have to pay the piper and they have to do it. So they just started to make them start to pay. So you're going to start seeing, I think, foreclosures and stuff because they haven't been paying their mortgage and they've been doing other things.
Right.
And they haven't had to. So I think you don't know. There's certain areas that it's not going to happen in, but there's going to be other areas where you might get the opportunity to get something.
All right.
Have good credit.
All right. Well, that I do. Matter of fact, I couldn't get a house because I didn't have any credit because I pay cash for everything and actually had to go in debt in order to have a credit rating.
It's just, I know we had to do that for my son. He couldn't even get a credit card because he was with us. And I said, you have to establish credit. I said, you put stuff on and you pay it right off. Otherwise, something for $10 will cost you $25 if you keep just doing a little bit. They don't understand you have to pay it off.
Yeah.
But you're right. It's terrible. It's just a messed up. The system is crazy right now. Doesn't make sense.
Yeah. So, Janet, quick question. How's Gabby doing?
Oh, she's great. Yeah. She's in a new career. It's hard. When you try anything, you take a risk. You live, it's outside her comfort zone. So, she's nervous and everything, but she'll be fine.
That's why I said about being a safety net.
Yeah.
Well, I tell parents all the time, don't be in such a hurry to kick your kids out. It's a different world than what we had.
Oh, amen to that. You don't know. And let them have their deposit. Like she was able to stay with us and she was able to put a deposit down on a home because of it.
Yeah.
She hated being with us because she wanted her independence. And even though you give them free reign, it's not their own place, you know?
Well, if you talk to my youngest son, he just got engaged and he's getting married. I think he's going to wait a year or two.
Wow,
But, you know,
congratulations.
he said growing up sucks. He says, I didn't know how good I had it.
He's right. I don't like it. I still think I'm 20.
Yeah, I know. Hey, quick question. Okay, read the book. What's going on with the book? I want everyone that's listening to this, because it has a lot of great directions in life of how to overcome. You know, being invincible is an understatement. It is a playbook for you to develop your full potential. It features Janet Papale and Vince Papale. I think this is the same room, because I think, you know, no, this is the garage. The other room is in the basement. I've been in that room.
Yeah. No, that was our office where we took that picture.
Yeah.
This is the garage.
Yeah.
Well,
How's the book doing? And is there a sequel to it? Because part of what I want to know is Vince Papale now and is invincible still forever. There's got to be a sequel to the Papale story. Is it a love story? Is it another big adventure? You know, is it, you know, Vinny walking in the footsteps of his dad, or is it Gabby's love story?
Well, we'd love it to be Gabby's love story, but it'll be Vinny because he's had so many obstacles to overcome. And I mean, he did it different than his father, but in the end, he's had injury after injury. Somebody keeps deciding that it's not his time to make it. So when he really does make it, he's going to be bigger than his father, and that'll be invincible too.
Well, I'm going to say,
the book, but that's we have to come out with a sequel of the book. That book sold out. We self-published it, so there's only about 10 or 12 copies left. But we're playing around with coming out with the repeat, because so many things have changed in the 5 years that we wrote that book.
well, I'm going to tell everyone listening to this podcast, because we're going to try to release it before the holidays. Get this book. Is it on Audible yet?
No, I don't know.
No, it's not.
No, I don't think it is. I guess we could put it
Well,
on.
those self-help books are tough to put on Audible. On
Yeah.
Did you do it?
No, all of my books on Audible. And the reason why, because people, just like podcasts, they stop watching the news, they're listening to podcasts, but more people are transient. So they're listening to books on tape versus reading. I mean, one of the biggest things when I wrote my last book, Indispensable Games, it was 93,000 words, and they wanted it down to 52,000 because they say people don't read anymore. And I always have the conversation. People said, I hate to read. I said, you just haven't found a book you love to read. So once you find a book you love to read, you start loving reading.
Yep.
And books like your book, and I haven't read The Last Laugh yet, so I can pretty much get, I think, Vinny, you and I have probably talked about The Last Laugh because, you know, of going from the NFL to not being recognized, all of a sudden everyone knows you now. You get The Last Laugh.
Yeah, you know, we have a sad ending to that story because Dennis Franks, my co-author and also my teammate, brother, and you know, you met Denny on.
Yes, I did.
We lost him. He went to the big stadium in the sky. We lost him 3 weeks ago.
Yeah, I saw that. I have pictures of when we were on set with him.
Heartbreaking.
Well, he's just in another room, so
Yeah,
I have to look at it.
As he said, but you know, they told him he was too small and I was too old, and you know, you were probably told you were too this or too that.
I was too small. I was told I was going to amount to nothing but a janitor. You know, I think the best thing anyone can tell you is what you're not, so you can prove to them what you are.
Mm-hmm.
I like that. You got all these one-liners, man. You better just keep feeding them to me. I love them.
Hey, you should read my book. I think I mailed you a copy of that book. It's in there.
It's back in Philly, but we're going to be heading to Philly in a couple of weeks, and
Yeah.
I'll make sure I bring it down to Florida with me.
Well, as soon as you guys get back, we have been talking about getting together for dinner. Dinner's on me.
Where are you living?
In King of Prussia.
Oh, you're close.
Yeah.
Well, that's why we're here. Before we close on the house, we got to get together.
All right, we'll definitely do that. Vinny,
I'll let you go.
before I let you guys go, wait a minute, Janet.
No, I was just going to let you have him.
No, I wanted all you guys in there. If I could have Mark in here, I would love to have Mark also. And I was actually expecting him, but I always want to ask each of my guests, okay? And you guys are family, you're not guests. If you had one big ask, if you could be granted one single thing that without question can happen, because I have people that I always say we have a higher call to action, people that respond to people, and I always say dream big. Janet, both Vinny, what would that ask be?
What would I like to see happen right now?
Yep.
I'd like to see the world at peace. That's what I'd really like, and have our kids grow up the way we grew up, with having everything and being able to have your door unlocked. And I would like peace for everybody and harmony. That's what I'd really like, because there's such a disconnect with everybody.
Yeah.
That's what I would like. I don't need anything else. I have everything.
I know. You got Vinny.
Yes.
I was thinking that, but I didn't want to say it. It was scary, 28 years together. We just celebrated 28. And what a great 28 years it's been. I was thinking the same thing. I've got everything I need. I've got a beautiful family, and the thing that we can't bring back, and Kevin and I both agree, we only wish that our kids could have been around and seen us play. I wish I could have seen you compete, and I wish you've seen me play. They're just a little bit different, but now I just wish that people would just love each other more, and just respect them just for who they are, not what they are, but for who they are, that they're human beings. And that's what I'd like to see.
And embrace everybody's accomplishments instead of being jealous.
I totally agree with that. And I always say, and this is another one, and you can adapt this, the conversation we have is part of learning, education. Education is not designed to make you comfortable. It's designed to make you think. Mm-hmm. And from being athletes, we know what it's like to show up from day one and being that new person. We know what it's like to show up and have to earn our positions on that team. And we know what it's like to show up when we get accepted by that team, no matter where we come from, no matter what our religious beliefs are, and no matter what our skin color is or our differences or our size or anything else. It's one thing about being a team and being part of an athlete. You learn on so many different levels what life is all about, especially when someone has your back. And I think as human beings, and I'm going to close with this, is that we've got to learn to have each other's back.
I like that. I like that. And there's nothing that is more refreshing than being in a locker room. And people say, what do you miss most about football? Being in the locker room. And it's just everything that was going on. You have everything, the whole world right there in front of you, and you have the good guys, the bad guys, but you all have one common purpose. And that's to come together as a team. Teamwork makes the dream work. This is a Navy SEAL oar that I have. You've seen the Navy SEALs. We talked about SEALs earlier.
Yeah.
This is one of their oars. And they always talk about teamwork makes the dream work. And we need more teamwork.
You universally said, and I want to thank both Janet, Papale, and my brother, my friend, Vince. Please hug Gabby. Tell Vinny, all right, no matter what happens, no matter how hard he gets hit, if it's one time, two times, tell him to get up twice more.
Yeah, there you go.
He will.
He will.
All right.
And
all right, I will talk to you guys later.
All right, love you, brother, man.
Yeah.
It's been great. Thank you. Good
Have
luck
a
to your
great
son.
week.
Yeah.
All right, you guys too. Thank you.
Have a great
Bye.
holiday, and hugs to you all.
All right, we will.
Yeah, man. You look great. You look invincible.
Thank you, sir. Thank you.
Thank you.
And to our guests, if you like what you've seen, you've liked what you've heard, please Vincent, how do people get in touch with you?
Well, www.vincepapale.com. There's, if you ever want to get a hold of me for speaking or something, at the very last tab on the top, you can go to that. This is the book that I wrote with my friend Dennis Franks. It's on Amazon.com or shop.com. And this is my friend and teammate that I lost, but he'll always be in my heart. And he's with me every day. So I'm going to get emotional thinking about it. But yeah, hey, listen, but it's just go out and help somebody right now, and right now, we have a holiday coming up in the next whatever holiday you celebrate. Just be there for people, because people right now need you.
And I can't say it any better.
You got some great quotes, man. I appreciate that very much. Thank you.
Hey, I've got over 300 original quotes that if you want me to send them to you, I'll be more than happy to send them to you.
I would be more than happy to put them out there. I could do that easy. Thank you.
All right. Well,
all right,
thank you, Vinny. Thanks to my listening audience. If you like what you've heard, please share, subscribe, go to RMK Productions and Network on our YouTube page. If you want more information about what we're doing, go to info@rmkproductions.net. I want to thank Mr. Vince Papale and Janet Papale for being good friends and being my guests and sharing their story with our audience. My grandfather always said, when you get to a point to help someone else, it is your duty to do so. Reach one, teach one. And I'm going to fade to black and thank you. We're out.
See you later.
All right, take care.
That was great.